and very good job contesting the point, but unfortunately I have people hiding in bushes all around, and he just gets caught in some epic crossfire, and it all gets shut down by my armored car anyways. I was thinking of stealing the Jeep, but nope, Daimler armored car decides to put the kibosh on the plan. So once again I held the point, once again my opponent on the back foot, although they do have the 2 rightmost points, so things are looking pretty good there. And so finally I demolished this house just in time for him to drive around, so it doesn't matter that I killed the house, and it looks like he's going to try and get out of there, so he's behind the thing. And so I was like, dang it, I missed my chance to kill him, but luckily he just keeps on driving and like waits right out in the open, so that gives me a chance to nail him with my Daimler armored car. Then I realized, wait, he's a light tank, I'm a light vehicle, he's probably going to kill me, so I try and move out of there, but the AI usually pretty good, not so good at reversing and getting out of there, so I direct control it to get him to do his thing. So yeah, I was thinking I was going to just go direct control this and sort of pop out, take a shot, and pop back in, because in direct control you can do some fancy stuff like that. And so I had yellow penetration, means I had a chance to kill him, but not super chance. In any case I missed, so once again I decided to take the safe route and use my AT gun, and it turns out I can actually hit, and I was wondering why I didn't get a penetration chance, but it's because I had HE loaded for some reason. That won't show a penetration chance, because you're not going to penetrate. HE shells do not penetrate. They just explode whatever they hit, and if it's a light vehicle, sometimes it'll kill just with the explosion, but sometimes that's not good enough. So again he charges. You see my infantry, even though it's only 2 guys, enough to hold off half that squad, and my armored car is going to be able to help kill the other half of the squad. I also damaged the track of that light tank, so I'm not really worried about him. He's stuck there for a while, so I can just pound him with my AT gun whenever I want. But what I'm worried about is this point. We have the middle, but we don't have the right, so I want to take this leftmost point back as fast as possible. We have 322 points, you see in the upper right, and they only have 28. But oh, you see how that orange dot is sort of floating on that bush, basically in the air? That means there's something there. That typically means there's an enemy vehicle there that you can't see. So that is a way to keep an eye on your opponent, even through fog of war. And he shot through that building like 3 times through the corner to try and kill my guy, but I figured his gun was not powerful enough, and I was right. And so thankfully I destroyed the hull on that tank. So there's another, so for those counting, that's like 2 or 3 light tanks and 3 or 4 light vehicles our opponents have lost already, and I have not lost a vehicle, and I don't know if my allies lost a vehicle yet. And so they're just not doing what they ought to be doing. You see my guys get under fire very quickly. I get them behind the vehicle. That's one of the things I love about Men of War, how easy it is to take cover behind your vehicles, which of course happens all the time in real life, but a lot of games are incredibly glitchy about letting you your infantry and your vehicles work in close tandem like this. Usually they're very glitchy. You have your infantry and your vehicles, and just either the pathfinding gets screwed up, or worst case scenario, your vehicles start crushing your infantry, something like that. Men of War, you very rarely crush your infantry, and you can very easily take cover behind your own vehicles, even while they're in the process of moving or something. It's they just, I don't know, they did a pretty fantastic job. If you select both of them and tell them to move at the same time, you'll get a little sort of weird glitchy stuff, but no one's going to run each other over. And in the important times when you want to take cover and stuff, it works pretty well. See, that guy moved slightly to the right when my armored car was about to run him over. So yeah, I'm very happy with not running my people over and how it works. I'm repositioning my AT gun. This is the 2nd or 3rd time I've done it. Pretty much any time you do anything significant with any unit in Men of War, you should reposition it unless there's something really important about having it wherever it is, because something where they know where it is as good as dead. Because, like, you know, in a graveyard, the gravestones tell you exactly where the dead body is. That's how you know they're dead. And so you see, I'm even pulling back individual injured people to heal them up. Never underestimate the power of keeping all your men in tip-top shape and rotating them to the front lines when they're ready. And so, having repositioned my AT gun, I am almost in position to shoot that light vehicle, but not in position. But Stewart's could get shot by my armored car if I'm lucky. I'm hoping he's busy shooting my infantry. I'm shooting into the fog of war again. Fair amount of direct control in this game. We get a good idea of the advantage of direct control, although this time I tell the AI to do it. And again, that's another Stewart down. So this is like the 4th or 5th light vehicle they've lost, and they're not, see, he wasn't even moving. He was just sitting there. I fired 2 shells, did not kill him. 1 hit, 1 missed, did not kill him. The 3rd one, I think, is what did it in, but really he could have been a lot safer if he had kept moving, because you saw for a while there I lost him in the fog of war. Like, I didn't see him. I buy a mortar, and normally a mortar is a little dangerous on this left point because it's open sightlines more or less, but I'm sticking him near the middle where there's some more cover, so I figure those buildings are going to give him cover, and I use direct control to turn my guy around because they can't really do 3-point turns on their own. But yeah, he really should have been moving his steward around, because you saw I lost him in the fog of war for a moment. I didn't know where the steward was. He could have easily repositioned, gotten the drop on my armored car, maybe killed some of my infantry, something like that. Instead, he just sat there and hoped he won, which is really not going to work. And meanwhile, I was moving my Daimler armored car all around and just like wily like a fox, you know. And if you keep repositioning, you're going to get the drop on your opponent. If you just sit around like a whale, like a beached whale with no legs, which is how most beached whales are. Things are not going to happen unless your opponent also sucks. But you know, and that's actually a fairly good strategy, hoping your opponent sucks, because often your opponent does suck. So I guess I'm not going to trash the strategy too much. So it's just a matter of pushing forward to this point slowly, using my submachine gunner as my Daimler armored car and my newfound mortar to blow the crap out of all this infantry that is set in to secure the point. Something owns my Daimler, the M18 Hellcat. Luckily, Daimler's sort of a funny shaped vehicle. It doesn't have all his goodies in one place. He nailed the turret and the main gun and killed a guy inside, but everyone else survived, and the Daimlers survived to drive away, so I quickly drive it away. And you really don't have to worry about repositioning as much when it doesn't have a gun, because it won't reveal itself by firing. But then I kill the Hellcat, because the Hellcat did not move after firing. It just stood there and just kept shooting, giving my AT gun time to sight in and time to penetrate, because the 17-pounder is incredibly powerful, and the Hellcat's armor is more or less paper thin. So the Hellcat, very expensive unit. This is on no payback, so he's not getting any of his points back, and basically got nothing for his Hellcat. Killed a tank crewman and hurt my Daimler, but he paid for it with his Hellcat. Meanwhile, on the right, they've also lost a Hellcat with this stolen Lee. My ally has repaired the Lee, so I appreciate that. I promised in my last video I would talk about the Lee, and believe me, the Lee is... I can't think of a way to rhyme on the way with Lee. The Lee is... Gee... There will be glee when we talk about the Lee. Yeah, we'll talk about Lee soon. But not now. It will be a mystery. And I point out this Sherman so that my ally doesn't miss it. Look how fast that armor car repaired itself. Although one of the crewmen did die when the thing got penetrated. So I buy a tank crewman, send one of them over there, and the other over to the Stuart, which I'm repairing, which I hope to one day crew.